Oh, hello there, you peasant. Valheim is an absolute beast of a game, and sometimes you can get lost or confused on where to go next. If you've clicked this video, maybe you're looking for some of that information on what to do next. Maybe you're wondering who this guy is or that guy. Maybe you're still confused on what to do with the black metal scrap. Still not found the merchant? Don't worry, I got your back. This is going to be a complete guide from early game to end game, showing you boss locations, ore locations, weapons and armor tiers, best foods and end game workbenches. To avoid spoilers for those who just want to know about a certain boss or gear, I'll break it up into timestamp phases for easy access in the description below. Phase 1, early game. After the bird has dropped you off, you'll see this little rune here. Click on it, it'll give you the location of the first boss, but don't expect to fight it just yet, you're not ready. Run around, pick up berries, mushrooms, rocks, wood, anything that's not glued down is fair game, just take it. Once you've got enough wood, craft a hammer and a wooden club. The club will be used for defending yourself, and the hammer will be used for building. Use the hammer to build a workbench. If you do want to use it for repairs on your club, you will need to build a roof, so do that nice and quickly. Then you can craft an axe for collecting bigger trees. A fireplace is great for cooking food. So with your club, you can run around and take out necks and boars for great source of meat, which will give you enough health to be able to survive some of these hazards. Now you're ready to build a house. I would recommend building the house within the meadows. You can always see where you are in the top right corner of the map. Either near a river or near the sea will be a great source of food. There will be lots of necks there and you'll be able to get a lot of meat. Also, boat access. There's a lot of sailing in this game. The closer your harbor is to your house, the less traveling you need to do. Don't forget to press M, pop up the map, and you can use the little tagging function. And if you do run into dungeons, don't forget to tag them on your map, so that way you can come back to them in the future if you need to. With the wooden club, you should run around, take out some boars, get some scraps. With those scraps, you'll be able to make a bow. With the bow, you'll be able to kill some deers. With the deers, you'll be able to make leather armor. If you've managed to get leather armor nice and early on, and you do have a bow, try and take out a few trolls. If you can get the troll armor, you're in business for the next phase. First boss, the deer boss. So now you've been in out in a black forest, maybe you found a dungeon. If you haven't, don't worry, run around, you will eventually find a black forest dungeon. Inside these dungeons, you'll find skeletons, ghosts, money, and scuttlings. Collect as many scuttlings as you can, and don't forget to pick up all the valuable items in there. Once you have collected these scuttlings, you'll be able to create a furnace and a charcoal kiln. These will be very important in the future. Inside the dungeons, you'll also be able to find the location of the second boss, so click on this rune if you manage to find it in the dungeon. Don't worry if you don't, I had to go through 2 or 3 dungeons until I found it. Once you've taken down that dungeon, you'll be ready to fight the first boss. I did this with 2 other people, but I probably could have done it on my own if I upgraded my wooden club a little bit. So don't forget to use your workbench for upgrades. Using your hammer to craft these items here, which actually give you stars for your workbench, will allow you to craft upgrades for your weapons. So try and craft as many of these items as you can. In the top right corner of your workbench, it will show you what level your workbench is. And if you click on an item to upgrade, in the bottom right, it will show you what level it needs to be able to complete that upgrade. I highly recommend building all the upgrade components you can, so that way when you do get new gear or when you do want to upgrade your gear, it will be nice and easy to do so. To summon the first boss, head over to the little icon on the map that showed up when you first landed down and you clicked on the rune. This will be the first boss location. To be able to fight the first boss, you will need 2 deer trophies. All you need to do is take out a couple of deers. You will manage to get these fairly easy. When facing the first boss, I tend to use a bow and arrow along with many of the bosses in this game. Keep a distance, use dodges on the electrical strikes, and when you're feeling a little bit tasty, run in there, give him a punch or 2. Once you've defeated the first boss, you'll receive its head as a trophy. You'll be able to put this on the stone at the start, and this will be able to give you a buff. You can press F to activate this, and it will give you reduced running stamina and reduced jumping stamina usage. Phase, second boss, Alder. So now that you've killed the first boss, you would have gained some antlers. These antlers can be used to make a pickaxe. Once you've got the pickaxe, you'll be able to go around and mine within the Black Forest. In the Black Forest, you'll be able to find copper and tin. The copper can be found as huge rocks located in the center of the areas, and the tin can be found near the shores. Once you've got the copper, you'll be able to put that in the furnace you made earlier. And once you've got the copper bars, you'll be able to make a forge. Use the forge to make bronze bars. This will be able to make you bronze armor, weapons, and a fermenter. Make sure you get a fermenter early on. You will use this a lot in the future. Use the bronze to make an axe. With this axe, you'll be able to get fine and core wood. Fine wood is the white wood that can be found inside of the meadows, and the core wood can be found inside of the Black Forest. Bronze can be used to make nails. These nails can be used to make a boat. The boat is very important. You will use it a lot, so make sure you get a boat early on. When traveling by boat, make sure you got plenty of arrows and a bow, because serpents will come gunning for you. Kill a few serpents, get the meat. The meat is very good. Sailing around, you might see these here. This is actually a turtle, and if you climb onto its back, you can mine the chin tin. With the chin tin, you can make a knife and a harpoon. The knife has a jumpy little stabby attack, and the harpoon you can throw. It's not too bad early game, but later on it's kind of useless. Around this point, I would recommend building teleporters. You've got some of the scuttlings you got from the first dungeon, and due to the fact that you may have to sail around to get to the second boss, and you would have learned the location of the second boss from inside the first dungeon, build a teleporter, get to the new land, place down the teleporter, one in your base and then one on the new island. Call them something like T1 and they will have access to each other, and you can come and go as you please. I have multiple teleporters across multiple islands, each with their own name, from T1, T2 and T3. Whenever I want to travel to one, while I'm at home, I just change the name to the area I want to go to, so I can change it to T3 and I'll be able to go to that island. If you've managed to make it to the summoning circle of the outer boss, all you need now is to collect some of the ancient seeds that can be dropped by the shamans, the brutes, and also the spawners that you find inside of the Black Forest. Once you've got enough of these seeds, you will be able to summon the big old boss. He's not too hard. As before, I kept my distance. I used bow and arrows, and once he's dead, you'll get a key. Hold on to this. It's very useful. Phase the merchant. So the reason why the merchant is a phase here is because I played this game for 69 goddamn hours and I didn't run into one merchant. So I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way to be able to find the merchant. If you go back to your main menu, start a new server, and what you're actually going to do, it's not a meme, this is not a joke, this is the actual way I did it. 42069 lol xd, and that will be the name of the seed that will get you into the world to be able to find the merchant nice and easy. Once you get into the world, this is the map you will use if you need to. Head down south, follow the ocean, you'll see a bit of land, jump across onto the land, and eventually you'll see the icon pop up to say there's a merchant nearby. Once you've found the merchant, you can click this little sell button here, and any rubies or any valuable items you have on you will be sold, and you will get coins for it. You can then use the coins to grab these cool stuff. The merchant sells really useful stuff that I wish I had early game. You have the option to carry 150 more weight inside your inventory. He sells a fishing rod and some bait to be able to catch fish early on, and he also sells this really cool Santa hat. Now that is stylish. Phase 3, third boss, Bonemass. Now this is by far the hardest boss in the game in my opinion. What you want to do first is head to a swamp dungeon. You got the key from killing the second boss. This key is used to open swamp dungeons. Head towards swamps, run around, have a little search. But once you have found one of these dungeons, use the key to open the door, go inside. Inside the dungeons you'll find scrap iron that you'll be able to smelt to get iron ore. And you'll also be able to find these big withering bones. You need to collect 10 of these bones to be able to summon the boss. So try and grab as many of these as you can while you're inside these dungeons. Also inside this dungeon you have to find the location to the next boss. Once you've grabbed enough iron, take it back to your boat. You won't be able to teleport the iron unfortunately, so you will have to make a lot of boat trips. Once you've got all the iron home, smelt it, you'll be able to make iron armor and iron weapons. Now this is the armor and weapons I use for pretty much most of the game from here on out. I just upgraded it when I need to. We did manage to get around 400 iron from visiting a few of these swamp dungeons. If you make an iron pickaxe, you'll be able to now mine obsidian. Obsidian is the small black rocks that can be found within the mountains, but you won't be able to go there just yet, otherwise you'll freeze to death. Once you've got iron ore inside your inventory, you'll be able to make a stone cutter. The stone cutter is used to make stone buildings if you was wondering. Make iron nails will get you a longbow. So when you was inside of the dungeon, you should have found one of the runes that shows you the location to Bonemass. Head towards Bonemass. You'll find this altar here. You put your 10 withering bones in there and get ready to fight Bonemass. Now be prepared, this is by far the hardest boss in the game. He is weak to blunt items, so if you can make yourself an iron mace and upgrade it, that will work wonders. Also, if you manage to craft a fermenter early on, you will be able to make poison mead. This is very useful because bow and arrows don't really work against this boss too well. You will have to use a blunt weapon. He will poison you often, so make sure you get some poison mead. You can go into your cooking pot if you've made it already, craft the poison mead, and then put it inside your fermenter. Wait a few days, it will be done. If you have managed to destroy Bonemass, congratulations. He is a very tough boss, and you did good, kid. he would have dropped a wishbone. The wishbone is used to find silver ore inside of mountains. You can also use it to find scrap iron inside of swamps, and inside the meadow you'll be able to find treasure that you can sell to the merchant to get some more money. Now be aware, the longer this game goes on and the more bosses you kill, the more crazy events that will happen around your house. So make sure you upgrade your base and your house, put some walls around it, maybe get some defenses, because a lot of monsters are going to start rocking up and rolling around on your head. Phase 4, Dragon Boss Murder. In this next phase, you will be heading to the mountains, which is quite treacherous. Bearing in mind, I did all this with iron gear that I upgraded quite a bit. Wyverns, wolves, and golems you'll be fighting mostly, as long as you don't go up in the night. If you go up in the night, you'll have to fight some Fenris, which can be quite brutal, I heard, although I didn't face any myself. Now, before you start heading up to the mountains, make sure you've got some frost mead. This will help you fight in the cold so you won't take damage. The idea here is to use the wishbone that you got from killing Bonemass to find some silver. Once you've got the silver, you will have to leave the mountains for a little bit and come back later on. Now you've got the silver, head to the plains and take out some locks. With this, you'll be able to make a lock's cape that you use to not freeze to death when you're in the mountains. Head back up to the mountains, try and find 3 dragon eggs and a Draugr camp. If you do manage to find a little camp like this which has some Draugrs in it, look out for the rune. This rune will show you the location of the dragon boss. Hopefully it's on a mountain near you or not too far away. If it is far away, get all the eggs onto your boat and get ready to travel them, because you can't use the teleporter on the eggs. Once you have made it to the modest summoning circle, place down all 3 eggs and summon the boss. Now again, I did all this with just an upgraded iron bow. Needle arrows do help a lot as well. The needles can be got from the bugs that are found in the plains. But if you did manage to get some silver gear and you did grind it out, I'd imagine this would be a lot easier than it is for me. If you manage to kill the boss, he will drop some dragon tears which you can use to craft an artisan table. With the artisan table, you can craft a windmill, you can craft a blast furnace, and you can also craft a spinning wheel, but we'll get to those in a second. First of all, what you want to do is grab his head, put it on the pedestal at the start, and you will get a buff which allows you to have 5 minutes worth of winds directly behind your sail while you are sailing. Now, if you wanted to use the artisan table to craft your windmill, the windmill is used with barley to get wheat, to get some of the best food in the game. To get the barley, you will have to go to the plains. On the plains, you will find some goblin camps. Inside the goblin camps, you'll find 2 lots of crops. These crops are flux and barley. Barley is used to make the wheat inside the windmill, and flux is used in the spinning wheel to get linen. If you do manage to kill some of the goblins that are inside of these camps, you will be able to get black metal scrap, which you can use inside the blast furnace to get some of the best weapons in the game. The final phase, boss Yagluth. Now, if you have been running around the plains to kill some loxes, to get that nice meat, to get the black metal scrap to make some of the really nice weapons, you may have come across some of the totems. These totems can be found inside of the forts, and they can also be found inside of the camps. So keep your eye out for these. They are needed for the next boss. Collect 5 of them. Also, I'd recommend killing a lot of the bugs, getting lots of needles to be able to craft needle arrows. With the needle arrows and the iron bow, I was able to take out Yagluth with pretty much ease. Now, early on, I was able to find this big, massive claw-like statue coming out of the ground. In the center of this is the summoning circle for Yagluth. Grab all 5 totems, bring them to the center of the platform, place them in, and summon the boss. He's actually quite an easy boss once you figure out what he does. Once he raises his arm in the air, make sure you've got enough stamina to be able to sprint around and dodge the fireballs. If you're lucky enough to kill him, you will get a placeholder item. Now, this item, it hasn't been added into the game yet, but eventually when the game is updated, this placeholder item will turn into something of actual value and use. Until then, we just have to wait. He will also drop his trophy. If you manage to place the trophy, which should be the last one on your list of bosses, you will get the ability to not be affected by elemental damage. This also works for frost within the mountains. If you've been sailing around, you may have found some of the Mistlands and you may have found some of the Ashlands. Unfortunately, these biomes haven't been finished yet. And also this Ghostman, I have no idea. I have played 70 hours of this game and I still don't know what this guy does. If anyone does know, put it in the comment section below and I'll be pleasantly surprised. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to drop a like on it. It was an absolute struggle to be able to spend the last 70 hours playing this game to get all of this footage and all of this information into a very short video. I don't like dragging out my videos. I'm not one of those other YouTubers going to make a 20-minute video or split it up into like 15 videos. I just wanted to one complete guide. But in saying that, if I did manage to rush over things or didn't explain them too well, I do apologize. Let me know in the comment section below how much of a big, massive idiot I am. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Yeah, I like that joke.